I want you to picture something with me. Imagine a city in the ancient world. It's night. The streets are quiet except for the occasional voice from the wall. Ancient cities had walls to protect those inside the walls. But up there on top, there are sentries keeping watch. Not everyone serves in the same shift. The night is divided into watches, the first, the second, then the third. Each one is several hours long. It's lonely work, cold, dark, and easy to lose focus. But the city depends on them. They must remain vigilant to keep track of any enemies that may try to break into the city. But also they must be watched when the king is out of the city, so that when he comes, there is someone there to throw open the gate for him and welcome him into safety. Now imagine yourselves as one of those guards. You've been told the king will return from his journey tonight, but no one can say what time. If you're posted in the first watch, you might hope to expect him early so that you can have the glory of opening the gate for him. But if you're in the second or third, then you've got to fight off sleep. Fight off that voice that says, he's probably not coming tonight. You can catch a little nap. And that's the image that Jesus provides us with in the gospel today. And the truth is, these watches of the night aren't about soldiers 2,000 years ago. Jesus uses this example to describe the different seasons of our lives. There's the first watch, our younger years, when we have all the time and the energy in the world. Our faith is new and untested, when we still got energy to remain alert. Back in high school, you didn't need to sleep if there was something that needed to get done. There's the second watch, our middle years, where life gets busy and crowded and noisy. And it's easy to think that you'll have time for God later, once things settle down. And then there's the third watch, the years when you've seen a lot, maybe lost a lot, and you begin to feel weary in your waiting. But here's the thing. No matter which watch of the night you're on, the king is still coming. You don't know when, but he's on his way. Therefore, Jesus says, gird your loins and light your lamps. And in his world, to gird your loins meant to take the long flowing robe that you wore every day and to tie it around your waist and get ready to spring into action. It's what you did when you were about to work or travel or fight. In modern terms, it's rolling up your sleeves because you have to act and you don't want anything to trip you up. And he also says, keep your lamps burning. And it's more than just making sure we have enough oil in our lamps. It also means that we're staying clear in our mind, that we trim the wick so that the flame isn't flickering, because in the shadows hide the enemies. It means being able to see the difference between what's right and what's just easy. It means that you can see where you're going in the dark. And it means you're not stumbling half asleep through life. If you've ever been through a season where faith felt dim, and let's be honest, we all get those days where we feel like our lamp is running empty. And we know how easy it is for that flame, that spark in our hearts to go out. So that's why Jesus puts the two together. Gird your loins and keep your lamps burning. Be ready in body and ready in heart, so that if one fails, the other is there to encourage it. And here's where the story turns. Now, in the ancient world, the servants remained awake for the master so they could serve him when he came home. There would be someone posted all through the night because as merchants, many of these masters would go away on long journeys to buy goods or sell goods, and they would come off the road into the home. And so his attendants needed to be there to unload the carts, to welcome him home, to take his traveling cloak off, to provide him a meal, probably been a while since he ate, provide his bath, prepare everything so that he could rest from his journey, which of course sustains the household. But Jesus says when the master finds his servants awake, he will put an apron on himself. He will have them sit down at table, and then he will serve them after he's returned from his journey. Now, we as Catholics know that this is not some polite, pleasant image that God is giving us. This is the heart of the gospel. The one whom we serve is the one who came not to be served, but to serve. The one we wait for is the same one who, the night before he died, what did he do? He tied a towel around his waist, he knelt down, and he washed the feet of his servants. And what did he say before he did that? No longer do I call you servants, but friends. For you know what I'm here to do. The one who will come again in glory is the same one who even now, each Mass, bends down from heaven. He humbles himself to feed us with his very self. Think about that. The reward for staying awake is not avoiding God's punishment or disappointment. The reward for staying awake is being welcomed into a banquet where Jesus Christ, the King of the universe, the Word made flesh, the Son of God, the second person of the Trinity, he himself serves you forever. And not a banquet with silver platters and rich wine, but something infinitely better. What he has to offer is the joy of being with him, to rest on his heart, like the beloved disciple John. What he has to offer is the intimacy of his love, not some intangible symbol, but permeating your whole existence. What he has to offer is the peace of finally being able to rest, to lay down your burdens and rest in him. So if you're on the first watch, to our young people here, this applies to anyone who gets out of bed in the morning and nothing pops. Your temptation might be to think you have plenty of time later. You can always get serious about prayer, confession, the Eucharist later, but right now there's more important things to do. There's still a lot to see and to do and to live. But the Master comes when he comes. He doesn't tell us when. And so, young people, if you learn to remain awake now, then you'll be ready for anything later. Now, if you're in the second watch, this is life's middle stretch, you've probably got more responsibilities than you can keep straight. Kids to raise, bills to pay, the emails, good God, the emails. They never end. 1,000 little fires to put out every day. And the temptation isn't laziness, it's distraction. Letting ourselves be pulled away from the Lord into other things. You keep meaning to pray. You keep planning to go to confession. You hope to go to adoration, but you're tired. You just can't make it. You'll do it when things calm down. When the kids are grown, when the nest is empty, when people leave you alone. But in this watch, staying awake means refusing to let your soul get buried beneath the busyness. If you're in the third watch, you've walked a long road. You may feel the weariness of waiting. You don't have time to wait anymore. Bishop Provo, the Bishop of Lake Charles, at a priest retirement party, shared the wisdom of, you belong to this group if you go to the grocery store and you no longer buy green bananas. You buy the yellow ones because you don't have time to wait. You want to eat them now, not later. Maybe you've been faithful for years and you wonder if it's made a difference. You go on a Mass, you pray, and your kids don't come to Mass. Your family members reject the faith. People still wonder why you're wasting all that time at the church. Maybe you face losses that make it hard to hope. And in this watch, staying awake means keeping your heart open when it would just be easier to close it. Keep everybody away. Don't let anybody in. It's safer this way. And while, yes, you're protecting yourself, you're also starving others who need your love of your love. Being faithful in the third watch means trusting that the one you've waited for is still worth the wait. Jesus says the master will come and knock. And when he does, the servants open immediately. And there's the question for you and me. If he knocked on your door today, would you want to open it? Some people hear that question and feel fear because they know that the lamp is out and the loins aren't girded. Lord, give me some time to go to the pig. Let me go to Rod's. Let me go to the Walmart. Let me get some cleaning supplies. Let me clean all this stuff out. Let me finish these phone calls, and then you can come in. For the first watch is, Lord, can you come back tomorrow? There's still so much that I want to experience. For the second watch, it's peeking out the door and seeing who it is before we let them in. And if it's Jesus, we can close it real quick and tidy up. And for the third watch, it's laying in bed, hoping that they'll just go away. If I just don't answer the door, they'll stop knocking. And we know what Jesus says. He doesn't stop. He's persistent. But there are those among us, and I've met quite a few, who feel joy when they think of that question because they're longing for him. And this is people in their 90s all the way down into their teens. And what do they say? I can't wait to welcome Jesus. Not that I want to die. I enjoy my life. But I love Jesus more. I love being with my family and friends. But can you imagine being with Jesus with our family and friends forever? I want that. And so I want you to know something. It is not too late to be ready. You can light your lamp again. You can tie up all those loose ends in your life and take your post. We need you. No one else can stand at your watch. Only you can. And you can't wait until the end of your life to hear that knock. He's knocking right now. In the people who need your patience. In the poor who need your mercy. In the quiet moments of prayer when he's waiting for you to come and be with him. So here's what I want you to see in this parable. The master who will serve you at the end of time, he's already serving you. We don't even have to wait. When we come to this altar, he is tying the apron. It's right here. He's tying the apron around himself. He's rolling up his sleeves. He's preparing the meal. He himself, because it's not Korey LaVergne who offers the Mass, it's Christ himself in the person of the priest. He himself is setting the table. The servants have gathered here. And the music of heaven, each Mass, is playing just beneath the surface of what we can hear. But make no mistake, the very wedding feast of the Lamb that described in Revelation happens here at every Mass. And if you can see that now, if you can taste it now, then staying awake becomes a joy, not a duty. We're not waiting for some far-off day. We're living in the first moments of the rest of our lives now. As the saints remind us, our last moment in this life is the first moment of forever. And so if we're already living that first moment, then it's not a thief in the night that comes home, but the King who comes to serve us. Finally, Jesus ends this gospel with a sobering reminder To whom much is given, much will be required. And make no mistake, you and I have been given so much. Well, I don't have as much money as this person, or as much, goods as, people have their lives together. I don't have as much as a lot of other people. Each one of us. We know His will. We have His word. We have His sacraments. And He has put us in charge of His household. He has given us His home, His church. And above all, we have Him. We have the Master. We have the King present, living, feeding us. And so this means that our waiting is not passive. We can't come and just experience the Mass. We can't come and just look and watch. We're not keeping watch of the watchman. We are the watchman. We're not sitting on the porch glancing at the horizon every now and then. We're at our post, standing at attention, lamp burning, hearts awake, ready to serve until He comes. So here's the question. If the Master came into your watch tonight, would you be awake? Would He find you hungry for His table? When He comes, would you drop to your knees and open your mouth and say, "Feed me, Lord, with the bread of life"? Would you throw open the door gladly? And look, I get it. We come to the altar and we're just hungry. We're starving for the bread of life. But we come with hearts weighed down by sin and a distraction, and there's so little room for Him, and we receive our Lord, and our lives don't change because they're so weighed down by so much. And that's okay if that's all we have, but it can't be all we have for the rest of our lives. If you've been asleep, it's time to wake up. If your lamp's gone out, it's time to light it again. And if you run out of gas, you don't just hope that more gas comes into your gas tank. You go to the gas station. If you're running low on grace, you know just where to go. The sacrament of reconciliation. That's where we go to lay our burdens down and to be filled up again. It's where we empty ourselves out so that when we approach the altar, we say, "Lord, I have made room for you to fill up my life," instead of just fill up that hole in my heart till next week. The one you're waiting for loves you more than you could possibly imagine. And when He comes, whether in the second watch, the third watch, the first, or whenever your life's night ends, He will set you at His table. You will be His guest of honor. The King will come down from His throne and wash your feet and clean your hands and dress you Himself and carry you to His table. And what He will serve you there is Himself forever. Are you hungry? And if so, come to the wedding feast. For the King wants to feed you and serve you.